Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Asya Mushtaq and I am going to teach you the subject of general methods of teaching. The course code of this subject is EDUC 1112. Students, today's our topic of discussion is simulation teaching. First of all, I will explain objectives of simulation methods of teaching. The main objectives of these methods of teaching are to modify teacher behavior by the use of feedback devices, to modify social communication skills of teacher behavior which are essential for effective teaching, to develop psychological appreciation of the classroom problems, and to develop in the student teacher a basics for handling the problem in the class. What is simulation? The word simulation is derived from the word simulate, which means to reproduce certain conditions by means of a model for study or training purposes. For example, to simulate flight using a model flight in a wind tunnel. So simulation refers to operation in which a real situation is represented in another form. This skill is used by teachers and pupils in the classroom by playing some role without any preliminary training, spontaneous or without any rehearsal. So it can be safely concluded that simulation is a form of role playing wherein pupil teachers display the skills spontaneously. In the simulated teaching method, the pupils are only familiar with the conditions, therefore they discuss and go ahead with the subject matter. Groups of 4 or 5 pupils are made in such a method of teaching. Simulation refers to the imitation of real-world activities and processes in a safe environment. Simulations aim to provide an experience as close to the real thing as possible. However, a simulated activity has the merit of allowing learners to reset the scenario and try alternative strategies and approaches. This allows learners to develop experience of specific situations by applying their wider learning and knowledge. This approach is frequently used in disciplines where students need to develop skills and experience, but safety issues or cost considerations prevent this happening in the real world. Simulation is the base of sensitivity training, socio-drama, role-playing and psychodrama. The main idea is to place an individual in a situation which provides spontaneous interaction to see if he or she can practice producing certain patterns of behavior. Simulations are instructional scenarios where the learner is placed in a world defined by the teacher. They represent a reality within which students interact. The teacher controls the parameters of this world and uses it to achieve the desired instructional results. Students experience the reality of the situation and gather meaning from it. So we can say a simulation is a form of experimental learning. It is a strategy that fits well with the principle of student-centered and constructivist learning and teaching. Simulation take a number of forms. They may contain elements of a game, a role play, or an activity that acts as a symbol. Simulations are considered by their non-linear nature and by them control ambiguity within which students must make decisions. The inventions and commitment of the participants usually determines the success of a simulation. Simulated play is a part in which specific communication skills is developed or educational process is carried on in an artificially created situations. Simulation skills, which is a form of role playing, is used in the subject of history, science and literature as well. Imitation is done or some role in play with the help of various teachers. So simulation in teaching has recently entered in the field of education. It is used at different levels of instruction. The teacher is trained practically and also imparted theoretical learning. The pupil teacher needs to be trained in simulated situation before sending him to the school for teaching practice. He has to play the role of teaching in artificially created environment. After that, he should be sent to the school. In this way, the teacher will be able to teach in an excellent manner. So now I will explain a definition of simulated teaching. Simulated teaching is the technique of learning and training which develops the ability in an individual regarding problem solving behavior. It has been defined as a role playing strongly in which learner performs the role in an artificially created environment. According to Fink, simulation is the controlled representation of reality. According to Tensei, simulation is in the all-inclusive term which contains those activities which produce artificial environment for the participants in the activity. It is reproduction of reality. According to Hall, total enterprise simulation or management or business games. Simulation and gaming refers to a series of instructional designs that use elements from simulation and gaming. Simulation and gaming can be done with broad games, computer-assisted broad games or fully computerized environments. So why use simulations? Simulations help students appreciate more deeply the management of the environment, politics, community and culture. For example, by participating in a resource distribution activity, student might gain an understanding of inequity in society. Simulations can reinforce other skills indirectly, such as debating, a method associated with some large-scale simulations, and research skills. Simulation promote the use of critical and evaluative thinking. The situations feel real and thus leads to more engaging interaction by learners. Simulation also promote concept attainment through experimental practice. So now I will explain significance of simulation teaching method. Simulation on technique, for all their artificiality, can often be preferable to putting students in classroom to learn on their own or lecturing to them in classroom. In other spheres, pilot trained in the artificial circumstances of the link trainer or driving schools have their traffic simulators and the medical students their bodies. And this is highly sensible. So classroom simulation removes the risk from the first steps of a new type and enable students to come to terms with the demand of a complex skill learning without the stress of the real situation. At the same time, it is to be preferred to merely telling the student for much the same reason, as it is better to allow beginning pilot to practice operating the dummy controls rather than telling him to how to do it when he finds himself in the air. So it is very clear that a student cannot become successful teacher till he acquires the teaching skills through role playing in the classroom. For example, soldiers are put to face and fight artificial war. The example of a pilot under training who is made to face and pass through all the conditions which he has to face in the air in artificially aircraft model in Air Force Training Center. The pilot should do that, has no practical value. He is trained to understand and to control his problems in artificial aircraft model. So same is the position of a teacher. Simulation in teaching plays a very great role. Instead of telling him does and do not, he should be put to simulation or role playing so that he could prove to be a successful teacher. Therefore, following the of simulation in teaching: imitator, development of expression, development of all aspects, emotional organization and bodily expression. Now I will explain characteristics of simulation teaching. Simulation is an artificial situation of student-teacher in the classroom situation. It is telling the student through artificial environments how to cope with various classroom situations. In other words, it is meant to create artificial situations which provide artificial experiences for the participants. Simulated experience is a naturally occurring activities in children in all cultures. Left to themselves, children spontaneously simulate aspects of their present or future life experiences. So as a tool in training, simulation has 4 principal characteristics. So the first characteristics of simulation teaching is it starts with a similar situation. The first characteristics test of similar circumstances provides a setting in which a learner can function. This setting is equivalent to the assumption in a scientific investigation, the given in a mathematical model, the equipment and the rules in the game. The definition of conflict and personal characteristics in role playing and the independent variable in an experiment. In education for decision making, it represents the real environment in which the learner is to function and is assumed to have enough of the characteristics of the real environment to provide practice in meeting possibilities which could occur in the learner's life. So the second characteristics of simulation in training is the provision for tentative or low risk input. The learners can make a response without binding commitment and without destroying the circumstances which are the basis of the simulation exercise. This allows the students to make terrible mistakes, to live another day and to test alternative actions. Next one is low risk inputs leads to the third characteristics of simulation. The simulation system informs the learner what would have happened had they responded in the simulated situation. Next one is replicable. It delivers a message without modifying the physical or psychological learning climate. With low risk response and symbolic consequences, the whole simulation exercise is replicable. Replicability provides an opportunity for interactive procedures in arriving at best solutions. Simulated teaching implies an analysis of teaching act and of the teaching situation from the point of view of the student. Different disciplines have different simulations. Every discipline treats the conceptual structure of the simulation differently. For example, to economists, this conceptual structure is typically mathematical. To sociologists, the conceptual structure is typically sets of social interactions, and to political scientists, the conceptual structure is often institutional. Simulations vary in style and complexity. Simulations may use computer programs that require only a portion of a single class period. Simulations range from attempts to duplicate complex social processes such as government to very simple social interactions such as making eye contact. These simulations may be conducted with computers, pencil and paper, or physical models of some natural phenomena. Some work only with small classes and some work with all class sizes as well. Next characteristics is deep learning and awareness of the unique circumstances. Instructional simulations have the potential to engage students in deep learning. Deep learning empowers understanding as opposed to surface learning that requires only memorization. In a simulation guided by a set of parameters, students undertake to solve problems, adapt to issues arising from their scenario, and gain an awareness of the unique circumstances that exist within the confines of the simulations. Procedural mechanism of simulated teaching. Prior to sending the pupil teachers to the real classrooms, they must be trained in the artificial environment by simulated teaching techniques. Effective instructional simulations require teachers' preparation, active student preparation and participation, and post-simulation discussions. Teacher preparation. The instructional simulations can be very effective in simulating student understanding. The simulation requires intensive pre-simulation lesson preparation. Lesson preparation varies with the type and complexity of the simulation. However, most expert users argue that teaching simulation work best when teachers have a clear written statement in the course syllabus about the goal of the simulation and an explanation of how the simulation is tied to the course goals. Teacher read all the supporting material for the simulation. Teacher do a trial run of the simulation before assigning the simulation to students when possible, and teacher make sure that specific facilities support the simulation when these facilities are needed. So teacher integrate instructional simulation with other pedagogies such as cooperative learning or interactive lecture and demonstration. Active student participation. The learning effectiveness of instructional simulation rests on actively engaging students in problem-solving situation. Students learn through instructional simulation when they are actively engaged, and students should predict and explain the outcomes they expect the simulation to generate. So every effort should be made to make it difficult for students to become passive during the simulation. Students must submit timely input and not really rely on classmates to play for them. Teachers should anticipate ways the simulation can go wrong and include this in their pre-simulation discussions with the class. Next one is post-simulation discussion. Students need sufficient time to reflect on the simulation results. Post-simulation discussion with student leads to deeper learning. The teacher should provide sufficient time for students to reflect on and discuss what they learned from the simulation. Integrate the course goal into the post-simulation discussion. Ask students explicitly how the simulation helped them understand the course goals or how it may have made the goals more confusing. So now I will discuss with you procedural steps of simulated teaching. The first step of this technique is the assignment of roles to the pupil teachers. All the pupil teachers have to play all the roles. All the pupils play the roles of teachers, pupils and the supervisors. Next one is selection of social skills for practice. After assigning the roles in the first steps, some specific social skills are selected and discussed. The topic related to these skills are practiced. For practice, those topics are selected in selected social skills fit. Next is preparation of work schedule. After this, it is decided that who should initiate the simulated teaching, when it should be summed up, who will sum it up, who will interrupt, etc. Hence, such a work schedule is decided beforehand. Next one is determination of observation technique. In this step, decision regarding the observation technique is taken. It also includes the types of data to be recorded and their way of interpretation. So this step is related to the procedure of evaluation as well. After all the preparation, the first practice session is organized and the feedback is provided to all the participant pupil teachers regarding their teaching work. If the need is felt, some changes can be needed for second session. The data regarding the first practice session is recorded so that the evaluation of the teaching behavior can be conducted on the basis of that recorded data. So the session go on and everyone gets his turn. Next one is altering the procedure. After the first session, necessary changes are made in the procedure. In this, topics are changed. Also, the pupil teachers, observer and the teaching skills are altered. So in this altered procedure, to everyone plays the role of teacher and all the pupil teachers get a chance to practice. So this cycle goes on till the pupil teacher is trained. So now I will discuss with you merits of simulation teaching. Simulation allows trainees to deliberately undertake high-risk activities or procedural tasks within a safe environment without dangerous implications. Learners do not have to wait for a real situation to come up in order to learn. Learners are able to gain a greater understanding about the consequences of their actions and the need to reduce any errors. So simulation can improve trainee skills and allow them to learn from error. Simulation offers trainee participation rather than sitting through a training lecture. Trainees can practice what they have learned and quickly learn from any mistakes without serious implications. Also, simulation motivates and involves students, teachers. It can be enjoyable, realistic and helpful. So learners addresses hands-on and thinking skills including knowledge in action, procedures, decision making and effective communication skills. Many games enables players to embody different characters, thus helping to breed attitudes of tolerance and understanding. Simulation provide a safe artificial environment within which learners with low self-esteem may feel more inclined to explore, investigate, and express themselves. So simulated learning can be set up at appropriate times and locations and repeated as often as necessary. Simulation learning can be customized to suit beginners, intermediates, and experts to hone their skills as to speak. So feedback can be given to learners immediately and allow them to understand exactly what went wrong and how they can improve. Simulation is best suited to analyze complex and large practical problems when it is not possible to solve them through a mathematical method. So simulation is flexible, hence changes in the system variables can be made to select the best solution among the various alternatives. In simulation, the experiments are carried out with the model without disturbing the system. So simulation provides a valuable link between activities within the classroom and life outside school. Such a connection will help to make students to have better understanding to see the world in different perspectives. Simulation helps teachers to connect the teaching material to the student real world and encourage the student to make a relation between the knowledge that have already had with the application in their life as a member of society. Simulation can be used to teach content that it is very difficult to teach in the classroom. Simulation offers different techniques from the others. It can deliver all kind of issues which cannot be limited by time perspectives. Students actually engage in learning processes rather than passive receivers of knowledge. Children learn the most from play when they have skilled teachers who are well trained in understanding how play contributes to learning. The power of simulations is to transpose the normal classroom into an authentic setting where skills can be evaluated under more realistic conditions. So it prepares students to be able to face the complexity in the real world as well. So now I will discuss with you different demerits of simulation teaching. Simulation does not generate optimal solutions. No real consequences for mistakes may result in student underperforming and not being fully engaged in the training, thus producing inaccurate results. It may take a long time to develop a good simulation model. To simulate something, through understanding is needed and an awareness of all the factors involved. Without this, a simulation cannot be created. In certain cases, simulation models can be very expensive. Simulators can be very expensive and require constant updates and maintenance. The decision maker must provide all information about the constraints and conditions for examination, as simulation does not give the answers by itself. Resources and time are required to develop a quality learning experience with simulations. Assessment of students' learning through simulation is often more complex than with other methods. Simulated experiences are more realistic than some other techniques, and they can be so engaging and absorbing that students forget the educational purpose of the exercise. So in the last, I will discuss with you some suggestions. First one is, don't confuse replication with simulation. The temptation in designing a simulation is to make a small scale replica of some full blown reality. It seems logical that the closer the simulation comes to reality, the more valid and memorable the experience will be. Next one is develop a design plan. In preparing to design a simulation, you must make two key planning decisions. First, will you design it alone or use a design team? Second, will you employ a structured creative process? Next one is avoid early conclusion of ideas. Don't stop searching for ideas after the first workable one appears. Often the best idea comes second, third or tenth. Think of ideas as stepping stones to other ideas rather than as destinations in themselves. Next one is get outside a problem and look at it from different angles. Try approaching a problem in a teaching simulations from the point of view of a student. And last one is give your subconscious a chance to work on the problem. The solution to an especially inflexible problem will often pop into your head when you least expect it on the freeway. Thank you.